Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome for another episode of Power of Story. Hey, it's your host with the most, your main man, Darren M. Palmer, Chief Book Officer with Self Published in 30 Days. Today I'm on with my sister, Melinda. And Melinda, can you say hello to the people and share a little bit about yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Melinda Mulcahy, and I'm kind of becoming known as the Curiosity Queen. I pretty much am a big advocate for just trying to ignite people's curiosity, so that hopefully being a bit more curious in life can increase their various different abilities to find happiness, to find success, and also to answer questions, become better.
Awesome, awesome. We appreciate that, Melinda. And when I look at, the things that you are able to accomplish, and we're big in niches or niche, depending on some of my clients in the UK, they get me lined up. But I love the way that you continue to operate in your lane and your area of expertise on ways that you can serve people and that they can tap in and bring to fruition, the higher being of themselves. So if you don't mind, I know the information will be in the show notes for people to get in contact with you the whole nine. But please, let's go back a little bit, because when we look at VIP Melinda and we look at, oh, wow, that's the amazing Miss Mulcahy, um, take them back. How did you get started on this journey? I know you can't share it all, but give us a synopsis, give us an overview. What led you on this journey to where you're operating right now?
Well, some people go through a time in their life where bad things culminate. And that happened to me. And when I realized I actually didn't want to do it anymore, I decided that I wanted something better. I wanted to change my situation. And when you go to the doctor, generally they want to prescribe medication. That didn't sit very well with me, and so I decided to go on a journey. And I didn't realize that I was doing it, but all I did was just ask, how can I improve my situation? How can I improve where I am right now? And that led me on a journey of continually asking. And when I asked, everything just started to fall into place. And that led me on towards becoming enlightened, studying happiness, and then having a divine storm. And that led to actually realizing that at the end of that divine storm, which is what some people equate to as a perfect storm, I realized it was actually my curiosity that got me through. And so now I'm trying to just teach people the power of curiosity and how very important it is for people.
I love that. And what we're hearing here today from Miss Mulcahy is the importance of, I have something that I like to share, Melinda, of your pain is your product, or your pain is the way that you're able to service others. Because believe it or not, some won't, some choose or whatnot not to overcome it. But I think it's a selfless act. And thank you for not being selfish, because to just hold on and not let go or release that pain. But you say, know what? I'm going to do a greater feat for the world. I'm going to make sure that others are able to overcome. There are
Yeah.
some things that I learned through that divine storm that if I can help someone else have a pick me up and get out of that ditch or that hole that they might find themselves or that dark place, and if I'm able to be a light and give them some tangible steps to operate in that curiosity or to be able to go to the next level, then I'm willing to do that. There are some things that if you would have known that could have been would have been able to be better to assist you to be able to alleviate some of the things that you were questioning and things that you were going through during that time. So by paying it forward is something that I want those who are listening to this on the Power Story to glean from Melinda's stories. And Melinda, if you don't mind, can you give us maybe two or three takeaways from your divine storm that would be beneficial or transferable for those who may be listening, no matter where they are, that you picked up on, that you learned to glean during that particular time?
Yeah. the one thing is, when you have anything negative in your life, whatever that is, for me, I had a number of things, but probably the biggest thing was that I got diagnosed with cancer, cervical cancer. And at that time, it was a case of sitting in the office and talking to the specialist. And rather than be sorry for myself, I actually looked at the specialist and I said, look, what's your recommendation? In other words, how do I improve this situation? And he must have said to me several times, you know, you've got cancer. And I said, yes, I know that. Thank you for telling me. Thank you for reminding me. But now I just want to know, what can I do to help my situation right now? And that was the power. I took hold of that power, and it was me in charge. It wasn't even him. I allowed him the power of having performing the operation. But when after the operation, he said, you know what? He said, I've never known anybody recover so quickly. Everything was taken out, including my ovaries. And he actually said, you just wanted to just sort this problem out. You were determined to get it sorted, and you did. And I walked out of there, I had virtually no recovery time. I then went into a really difficult situation with the menopausal side, and I really had horrific symptoms that even surprised the gynecologist, oncologist. And what I would say again, when I was coming up against these continual problems, such as severe anxiety, I mean, to the point where, you know, I felt like I was drowning. I was actually having panic attacks that went into panic disorder. And again, I asked myself, how can I improve this situation? I looked at my diet. And what I would say with any kind of in particular conditions that are to do with depression or anxiety or anything to do with the brain, take a good look at your sugars, because your sugars play a very, very important part in how you think, strangely enough. And it actually affects your whole being, but in particular, your thought processes. And it actually can make situations significantly worse. So I actually then monitored my sugars and determined that the sugars played a massive role in my anxiety. I took all sugars out and only was living off natural sugars, such as berries. And the other thing is that I then determined, looking back, I actually realized, and I had been studying the sciences of happiness, and I'd actually realized when you're in those situations, you can't be happy, right? But you can always be curious. And that's the difference. You know, when we actually look at these amazing stories that people tell, whether or not it's a story of some captain who's in the army and he's faced with a horrific situation, it's difficult to use positivity, to be positive in that moment. And what I think is fundamentally happening is that we're actually forgetting the importance of asking these very simple, fundamental questions that can be the difference between life and death. It's as simple as that. Yeah.
Wow, Melinda. I told you my girl was gonna bring the heat. She's definitely doing that today. And I can attest to that, you know, what is the solution? What
Well,
is the
yeah.
solution? I love that. Go ahead, Melinda. I didn't want to cut you off. Were you about to add to that?
Yes, I will tell you the solution. You just have to ask yourself one question. How can I improve this situation? And I tell you why that's so good is because it's open-ended, right? What the brain loves is that it wants to find solutions for you. Your brain is constantly looking for the end goal. Now, of course, you can go down the path of saying, right, I want to be happy, right? And that is sometimes unattainable because people see it as a goal. Whereas when you use curiosity, that bridges the gap between you being unhappy and you being happy, because you can then determine, well, what can I do right now to make myself feel that little bit better? And that just uses the right energy to empower you. It actually stops your brain from over worrying. It actually diverts the brain. It actually takes the brain through the navigational process that it needs to do to actually find the answers. In doing so, not only is it the mind reset or intervention of a situation, it's kind of like, I'm in this situation, boom, how can I change it? Boom, your brain immediately goes off and goes, right, what am I looking for now? And it will do it. So it navigates this kind of fear, the limiting beliefs, all the negativity. It actually puts that aside because it's so excited and so driven to find that the answer. Now, the thing is, sometimes people kind of, they want the answer. They want to almost preface it with an answer. They want to sort of make the goal the answer. But sometimes the good thing about curiosity is that when you allow the brain to open up and to relax, you actually let more possibilities in. Okay. This is the whole concept of happiness. This is the whole idea of taking, what it is it's taking pressure off the brain and using the better neurochemicals that actually power you to find the solution. But it doesn't just find one solution that you think is the ultimate goal. It actually goes for the best solution that you may not have even known existed. You see, we're all limited by only what we know. We only know so much. We don't know what else is out there. We don't know the potentials. I like to call it, and this is a quantum mechanics law, which is superposition. So you can imagine the universe of every possibility existing, and you're in the middle of that universe, right? So what you can do to open up all the possibilities to allow more in is that you actually relax the brain, be curious, and your brain can then spot so many more potentials, so many more opportunities. So it no longer even cares about the answer. It's finding the best solution. Now, you see, the other thing that it does is it makes you extremely creative. And actually, there are now publications about how when we're teaching our kids through a method of rote, right, of a very sort of rigid kind of learning. And what that's actually doing is it's actually reducing our curiosity. And when you reduce your curiosity, they now know that that actually is also reducing your creativity, which again comes back to not finding the best solutions. Okay, so this is really, really important and powerful to know this. Whereas this self-directed learning, you also build your own momentum and your own drive to push forward. So you don't even need to feel like you're doing anything. You just naturally do it. You're just naturally curious. But you see, we've been taught that it's a bad thing. We've been taught, even in school. And I'll tell you why. This is the reason why. We've been taught it's bad because it presents the idea of uncertainty and the idea of risk. And the brain and society don't like those. The brain wants familiarity. And yet, when you give it curiosity, it's very happy to go along and do its little thing. Yeah. So it's been given a really, really bad rap. And I'm trying to change that.
Bring curiosity back. You heard it here from Melinda. Bring curiosity back. I think that's right. It's just similar like you would have on a quiz or a test. What that trips people up? Which one is the best answer? All of them could be used, but which one would be the best? And I think that's what our mind, what Melinda is sharing with us, is asking for, is seeking. And sometimes it doesn't even know what's best for it. So if you are able to tap into that understanding to give your brain a way to segue into what is the best, or get outside of your limits or your region or your ideologies or your creed or your religion, whatever it is, what's actually possible. It's infinite wisdom even within us. But if you never give yourself the opportunity to tap into that, you would get caught up in the quagmire of being familiar, or AKA the comfort zone. And so you won't know what's possible to you. I love this quote of that, most people acquiesce to known hells, forfeiting unknown heavens. And so with that being said, that's the importance of curiosity that Melinda is sharing with us. What's on that other side? But you won't even go and see how spectacular, how wonderful, how extraordinary it can be on the other side if you won't give yourself the opportunity. If you dumb down or you suffocate that curiosity, you won't even be able to see beyond the rainbow, so to speak. So with that going on, Melinda, your story is powerful, but I want to know a little bit about who inspires Melinda, who inspires Miss Mulcahy, because you're an inspiration to others and you helping them tap into their curiosity. So if you don't mind, share with us who inspires you and why.
I was asked this question on, it was Women's International Day, and I could name quite a few people, to be perfectly honest. I have some fabulous aunties, and I have, a friend of mine who became a very powerful CEO on the world circuit. And then I thought to myself, what about me? And I thought, yeah, me, just me. And I'm pretty happy with that. And that's taken me a long time to say that. But I'm good about
That's
it.
awesome. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper then. Since you inspire yourself, why?
Because I've tapped in to my curiosity and there is no limit. And this is so impressive, because when you decide to just choose curiosity, there is no limit, right? There's no limit on curiosity. As I said to you, because, like, you take even the goals off, you take these glass ceilings off, you have a whole world there. You don't even, since I've found and since I've discovered curiosity, I've been speaking to the most amazing people, quantum physicists. I've been speaking to Nobel Prize winners. I've been speaking to a futurist the other day, and all these people I never ever expected in my life to come about into my life, because I'm just a simple person. I'm a normal mother with 2 kids. I gave up my work, my previous, my jewelry business that I ran for 13 years, bombed because I was continually self-sabotaging myself. I was a total train wreck, believe me. If anybody can hold their hand up and say, I was the train wreck, right? I had mental dysfunction. I suffered numerous things in terms of mental illness. And to come out of that and say, I'm all right. And every day is a struggle. Every day, sometimes you get these moments where you go, oh, there it is again. There it is, that reminder, the body's saying to you, oh, something's not right. And then you go, good. It's good, it's not right. So now I actually recognize those moments of telling me, it's when the body actually says, oh God, you're in this, you're feeling uncomfortable, or I'm feeling anxiety. Great. That means I'm excited. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And I think that part right there, for those who are tuned in, what Melinda is sharing with us, unfortunately, there's so many millions of people that are missing that secret sauce, that part of knowing. A lot of times we're fighting against having that feeling of that little tad bit of anxiety, which really it's a thin line, because it can be some positive anxiety and negative anxiety. But that really is not anxiety, it's excitement. So if you confuse the two, then you're running from one, but you need to run towards the excitement. You need to run towards the curiosity, but refrain from the anxiety of not doing. See,
Yeah.
by pursuing that desire, pursuing that dream, or taking the limits off of the infinite wisdom that's inside of you, it allows for you to feel somewhat of like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this roller coaster ride. I haven't experienced this, This is not my normal. Your body is fighting against you. You need to run more towards it. But if you're knowing that it's another level out there, you know it's something you're supposed to tap into, but you allow the comfort zone and you feel a feeling of anxiety that way, that's because you know you should be doing more, or you know you should be actually tapping into that curiosity, but you're not doing it. So
Yeah.
you know that it's much more in you, but unfortunately you're not willing to have the faith to step into it. Don't allow that, because it ends up turning into what I call myrrh, or a bitter taste in your mouth, where you end up unfortunately become bitter. And now when you look at others who are tapping into their curiosity and seeing the infinite opportunities that's available, you can become somewhat of a sour puss or a Scrooge when it comes to it, because you know that you have forfeited that opportunity, when really all you have to do is make a pause and stop and consciously decide that I am going to change my subconscious. I am going to take control of the situation and make sure that I'm intentional on seeking my curiosity. Do you agree with that, Melinda?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And in addition, be your own hero. And there's nothing, I actually thought to myself, there is nothing wrong with me saying, on Women's International Day, I am my own hero. I'm okay with that. And I'm damn proud of it. So yeah, and also absolutely right. That was the one thing that got me through my panic attacks. When my whole body was breaking down from the hysterectomy, um, and I was literally drowning in anxiety. And I looked it up and found that, and again, that was my curiosity. How could I change this situation? And the minute I asked that question, how can I change this situation, the answers just come, boom boom. That's the universe working for you every single time. And there's just no pressure. You just ask these simple questions and they just come. And that was the difference between me drowning in total there were panic attacks by that stage, and I was having a lot of them. And then I would actually, when they'd come on, and I'd say, "Oh, I'm excited. Oh, what am I excited about?" And they would dissipate. And eventually I no longer had them. So that was a really, really spot on way of getting rid of anxiety altogether.
Wow, that's amazing. Now,
Yeah.
this has been a phenomenal interview, and I don't want anyone to run into anxiety because you're thinking to yourself, "Oh no, I want to know more. How can I connect with her? How can I learn about her services? I need more of Melinda." Melinda, if you don't mind, share with them social media handles, website information, anything that you have going on. We'll make sure we have it in the show notes, but could you share it to those who are listening right now?
Yeah, on my website, you can contact me directly through there, melindamulcahy.com. That's MELINDAMULCAHY.com. And that's my website. I'm also with that same name on Instagram. I run the Curious Minds Club on Clubhouse, so you can come and say hi to me there. And again, under at Melinda Mulcahy. And also Twitter. I don't use Twitter much, but mostly Instagram. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we want to thank you, Melinda Mulcahy, for just coming on and definitely just adding a ton of value. When we connected in Clubhouse and I heard you come into one of the rooms that we were hosting, I was like, wow, I got to connect with this young lady. And so that's the power of the universe working for you or whatnot, by you being able to bring in to your vortex the right type of people. And so I'm looking at the Melindas that I have in my life and so many others, and I'm able to agree with you. It's just like, how in the world am I connected? It's like I've been knowing these people forever, and I probably have. I'm just actually becoming more conscious and aware of it. So, but when you look at it, like, wow, it's hard to describe to people that it's some people that I grew up with that I have less in common with than people that I might have been knowing for a month or two or a week or two. It's like they've been long lost, but now we are in alignment. We are in agreement with one another. And so I just want to tell you that you are a shero of mine too, as well. So I just want to say kudos to you for all that you're doing and giving us the call, the call to say, hey, it's okay You can tap into your curiosity. You can allow for your best life to be used by tapping into curiosity. It's infinite wisdom in your curiosity, and it's okay to be able to overcome challenges. I don't have to shy or hide back for things that I've been through, and I still can make an impact. So that's why we had you on the Power Story, for those change agents who are making a difference locally and globally, and you are definitely a poster child of that. So thank you, Melinda Mulcahy, for coming on today.
Thank
Thank you
you
so
so
much.
much. And I
Uh,
just want to say one very, very small thing.
Go ahead.
You know, the only difference, this is the only difference between those people who are absolutely thriving in life, whether they're thriving in business, but thriving in life, is how you're choosing to think. That's the only difference. So when you actually choose to think differently, and when you start to actually use curiosity, you will redivert your brain, and in doing so, rewire your brain. So all you got to do, whenever you come up to a situation, any situation, ask yourself, how can I improve this? And your world will change. Thank you. I
Definitely,
really, thank
definitely, definitely. Great content. You have heard it here today from Miss Melinda Mulcahy. Thank you for joining the Power Story. Remember, if you want change, be the change. Until next time, be blessed and be great.